So after you've made an emergency plan and you've filled out the paperwork with important contact information, family members, important paperwork together, birth certificate, social security card, etc. Plus you have set out your evacuation route, who you would meet where. Once you've set up that plan, the next thing we want to discuss is building a kit, an emergency kit. Think of a backpack emergency kit. I'm going to list a few things that you would want to include in that kit. I want to emphasize that emergency preparedness, FEMA, Rhode Island Emergency Management, they emphasize that when you're packing a kit for an emergency, you want to ensure that you have enough to support yourself for 3 days or 72 hours. If an emergency was to impact your area and they can't get everyone assistance at the same time, they focus first on senior citizens, people who have chronic illnesses or medical needs on oxygen, to assist them first and make sure they are at a place of safety. And then they continue on with the rest of the community. So they would consider that the healthy community, and they want you to be prepared for 3 days. So each backpack should be filled to support for one person. So a family of 5, maybe parents and 3 children, would have a preparedness kit for each member. If there are also grandparents in the house, you'd want to make a kit for them as well. I would encourage you not to use a suitcase, large, bulky luggage that is harder to take around. In an emergency, if you need to evacuate a house or from work, it's easier to grab a backpack, something that's more mobile, and leave. If you have a large suitcase, that can be cumbersome. You'd want to pack some basic must-haves, things that you need on an essential basis. So there are about 15 things. I'm not going to list all of them here, but there are 4 that come at the top. Number 1 is water. Of course, we need water, enough water to drink. And make sure that you have 1 gallon per person per day. So that means for 3 days, you need to have 3 gallons of water ready. So 3 gallons of water might feel like a lot for each family member to be putting in backpacks. You can't do that. That's understandable. I would recommend that you purchase a plastic strong water container that people use for camping or for travel, where you can fill it and it's good for 3 to 5 days. That way you can use it for washing hands and other things as well. I'll show you a picture of what that could look like right here. You could find that in any kind of camping store or a large department store like Walmart or Target or any other large store. You probably could also find it on Amazon. Those would be very useful. Secondly, having food. That would be essential. Enough food for 3 days for each person. You'd want to find food that is dry, that is canned, any kind of bars that are non-perishable and would be good for a few days. Any kind of fresh fruit and vegetables. If you run out of those in only a few days, that's fine, but nothing that you could leave there. It's best to have canned food or bars that would support you. Or you could purchase backpacking type of food that you could use, that you might just need to add boiling water to, mix up, and have food. That's another option. Sometimes that can be very expensive. Sometimes one package is $5 to $10, so consider the cost. But the main point is that you'd want to not have perishable food with you and make sure you have dry, non-perishable food to support yourself for 3 days. Thirdly, it's good to have a first aid kit. If anyone were to get injured, you'd want to have what you need to stop bleeding, Band-Aids, or any kind of thing where you might be feeling anxious or have headaches, aspirin on hand. And if, of course, there are deaf people there, flashlights are essential to illuminate where you're going. We can't hear what's happening in the dark. Flashlights are essential. Small lanterns, any kind of device that will add light, and also have extra batteries on hand. You want to make sure there are extra backup batteries in your kit. Those are the 4 top essential things. The rest, very essential things. I would recommend you download a form. I'm going to put up some of the pictures here at the end of this video so that you can look through the other essential things for you to purchase and gather together in your essential kit. Those are some of the basic things. Secondly, there are some supplemental things that you would want to add as extras. Of course, medication. If any of you are on medication or you have grandparents or anyone with medical needs, it's important to have enough medication for 3 days. I would recommend a week or 2 weeks as well, just in case you're not coming back to your home for an extended amount of time, a few weeks, and maybe you wouldn't have what you need where you are. Having masks in these kits are essential. Currently with COVID, we do need masks as well, and that's essential. Another thing would be cash. Having cash on hand. Credit cards and other cards are not helpful depending on the location of where you are. There might be a few weeks for power to come back on. And if you need to make purchases, it's better to have cash on hand, especially to buy food and water. Cash is important. How much you have would really depend on you. If you have a family of 5, you'd want to think each person what they might need for a day, about $25 maybe, and make sure you have enough cash for the amount of people and to support you for 3 days or up to a week in case of a severe disaster or emergency. So packing cash in that backpack or also using traveler's checks can be helpful, cash or traveler's checks. Next, if you have any children in your home, pack the essentials that you would need for kids. So this could include books or games for children to keep them busy. If you have any pets, a dog or a cat, be sure that each pet has their own backpack so you can pack up their food, their water, any medication that they need, some few toys, maybe a blanket for them, a few things for each of the pets. And there may be more. I will show you a list here with a name of what it is as well as a picture, and I will show them at the end of the video. You could also go to Rhode Island Commission on the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, the emergency preparedness, and download a form with your basic kit needs as well as supplemental needs, and review both of those forms and make sure that you're ready.